we look at the West Asian nation of Syria. Israeli warplanes carried out airstrikes targeting Syrian military sites near the capital Damascus and in the country's south. One major strike hit the Al-Kiswah, a town south of the Syrian capital. It is known for housing weapons depot and military sites, and another strike was in the country's southern province named Daraa. Both areas have been key military zones where armed groups and Syrian forces previously operated for years. Now, according to a war monitor, at least 2 people were killed. In its official statement, the Israeli Defense Forces said that these operations aim to prevent any threat to the citizens of Israel. Meanwhile, Defense Minister Israel Katz made it clear that Israel won't tolerate growing military threats near its borders. He stated that the IDF will not allow southern Syria to become southern Lebanon. It was a direct comparison to the situation along Israel's northern borders. For several years, the Hezbollah group, an Iran-backed proxy group, has built its presence in South Lebanon. It has launched attacks on Israel and stockpiled advanced weapons. Israel sees a similar threat emerging in Syria, where the current president, or the de facto leader, Mohammed Al-Jolani, is also the leader of the rebel group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or the HTS. Now, Israel believes that Syria's new regime could turn southern Syria into another hostile front. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is pushing to demilitarize it. In December, the HTS toppled then-President Bashar al-Assad. The group launched a surprise assault on Damascus, and Assad fled the country as key military units collapsed and surrendered. This created a power vacuum in the country. Now, Israel has since moved into the United Nations designated buffer zone, which is a demilitarized strip of land along the Israel-Syria border. It was meant to separate Israeli and Syrian forces with the UN's peacekeeping forces stationed there. This effectively put Israel in control of the land that was supposed to be neutral. The strikes came as Syria's new leaders wrapped up a national dialogue summit. It was aimed at outlining the country's roadmap in the days ahead. Hundreds of Syrians met at the presidential palace in Damascus for the event. They condemned Israel's action at the end of the session.
The condemnation of Israeli incursion into Syrian territories as it is a big violation of Syria's sovereignty and calling for its immediate and unconditional withdrawal. The refusal of the provocative declarations by Israel's prime minister and calling the international community and regional organizations to take up their responsibilities towards the Syrian people and to pressure to stop the aggression and the violations.
The United Nations has also rejected the presence of Israel's incursion, but Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu remains undaunted.
In Syria, IDF forces will remain at the Hermon Summit and buffer zone area for an indefinite period in order to protect our communities and thwart any threat. We will not allow forces of the HTS or the new Syrian army to enter the territory south of Damascus. We demand full demilitarization of southern Syria in the provinces of Quneitra, Daraa, and Sweda from the new regime's forces. In addition, we will not tolerate any threat to the Druze sect in southern Syria.
So Israel isn't waiting to see how Syria's new regime is rebuilding itself. It has made one thing clear. It is taking matters into its own hands and not waiting for threats to take shape.
Merci beaucoup. Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Namaste, Mr. President.
Bharat Kelogon, Komeri Namaste.
How many people generally follow you in interviews?
Typically in a month, we have viewers up to 150 million. That's more than twice the population of France. And in the last 2 years, we had 3 billion viewers. So I say, Laurent, this is your chance to be famous. You're on Firstpost. One word to describe your equation with Prime Minister Modi.
Amitié.
As India and France work together, are you creating a new era of non-alignment in the technology space?
India is a training superpower. 1 million engineers a year, more than all of Europe and the US combined. So we have that partnership. We have a partnership on the environment and the economy. We also have civilian nuclear programs, and that is something we've developed far beyond the France-India relationship. So we want to work together on AI.
And then comes China with its DeepSeek, creating models at a fraction of the cost. Did that innovation take you by surprise? Did that breakthrough make you sit up and think, what did the Chinese do and how?
But what did DeepSeek do? They took everything that was already available from the last AI model, and then they recalibrated it.
So are you going to ban Chinese AI in France?
So we don't have this American approach of banning tech because of where it comes from.